Oh, the rain has ruined everything I wanted to do today. For basically the first time this year, the weather's decent outside. You know, it's not 10 degrees, it's like 60, which is great compared to what it's been. But of course, the day I film, it's pouring the rain. I was gonna go out, but you know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna be doing that soon enough. Either way, inside or outside, we're still talking about the same thing today. We have to revisit the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack because there's a lot going on with this now, and I hate to say it, but I told you so. Now, I'm mostly kidding with that. But things are happening now that we said would probably be the case in two other videos. We talked about this. We talked about really what this expansion pack was gonna look like in a year. And we're gonna get into all that in a second, but let's go ahead and catch anybody up who doesn't know what's going on. Now, we learned about the expansion pass in a direct. We got the fact that we were getting 64 games, Genesis games. We got to see a little bit of what we could expect from those. They did not talk about pricing in that, which now, as we'll talk about here soon, makes a lot more sense of why they wouldn't talk about pricing then. I mean, honestly, it still wasn't great when they did end up talking about the pricing, but again, that's kind of what this whole video is about. So during that direct, we got a little bit of information. I believe that's also where they told us about hang on one second. The new wireless Nintendo 64 controller. This thing is amazing. I absolutely love this thing. From what Nintendo says, these things are gonna be going back in stock very, very soon. If you didn't get one and you wanted one, I would say for sure, when they come back in stock, make sure you try to pick one up because I really honestly can't play the 64 games without this thing. But that's not the point of what we're talking about here. Point is, at that time, it was just the two systems they were adding in. You were getting 64 games, Genesis games. Then we got an Animal Crossing Direct later, and then they told us that the Happy Home Paradise DLC would be included in the expansion pass, and we got the price then, which was $50 for a single person. Now, a lot of people at that time said that's way too much. You can go back and watch the videos. I kind of thought it was too much for just that, especially if you're not an Animal Crossing fan, but something big happened, something very big happened at the last Direct. As all of you probably already know, we got this Mario Kart DLC coming. This Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC that's 48 brand new tracks. Well, they're not brand new. They are remade tracks from old games, but 48 newer tracks for us to race in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is essentially an entirely new game, which is pretty much what Happy Home Designer was too. So as much as we talked about, is this worth it? Is it not worth it? Is this something that you should pay $50 for or try to get a family plan together, go through all that to get 8 people, to make it cheaper? Is it something you should even be worried about doing? Or should you just buy the Animal Crossing DLC? I think adding this Mario Kart stuff, I think this already pretty much says, yeah, this is now worth it. And you know, that's my opinion on it, but I do notice that this time around, when they've added this in, there's not a lot of people online out here saying, oh, this is terrible anymore. You know, that was the whole thing. I think I was one of the only people saying, I don't think this is that bad. I think we need to wait and watch what happens. Because as I said then, I think we're gonna ton more DLCs just like the Animal Crossing one. And at this point, that's what it looks like is happening. Nintendo is never gonna give us full $60 games for free like Microsoft does. They're just not gonna do that. That is not the type of business that they are. That's not the business model that they have set up. It's not gonna work for them like it works for Microsoft because Microsoft has been planning for this forever. Game Pass is great, but Nintendo's just not gonna go that far with it. I would be willing to bet that this, as I said in the previous videos on this is, especially now, seeing the Mario Kart stuff come in to the expansion pack, this is Nintendo's version of Game Pass. This is as close as you're gonna get to Game Pass from Nintendo. I mean, even though Nintendo's online infrastructure and the way that they have us play games together online, even though it's not the greatest experience, anyone out there has to admit it is getting better. They are moving new games to a new server. It seems like they did it with Monster Hunter. I believe there's a few other games that they've done that with. The golf has been pretty good online. We've got Mario Strikers coming out, which is gonna be online. There's like 20 people leagues you can make on there. I mean, they're pushing the online. We just had the Wii Sports, not Wii Sports. We just had the Nintendo Switch Sports demo, the online beta this weekend, and it ran pretty good. We're not supposed to talk about it, so shh. Don't know why, but we're not allowed to talk about it. Anyway, it ran pretty good. I didn't really have any problems with it whatsoever. And another thing I just remembered, they also, at that same Direct, they added Earthbound, the Earthbound games, to the online service. So you could play them for free if you have it. And that's not even in the expansion pack. That's just in the regular online service. Nintendo is making a push for online. The shift for them is definitely happening. How long it's gonna take, who knows? It's Nintendo, it could take years. But it's clearly being done behind the scenes. This is something they know is obviously the future, and something they're really actually now looking into. You can tell by the last Direct, the last 2 Directs, all the stuff that they're giving us for this online service and the way that they're building it up, you can tell this is going to be the thing. And I don't really think it's gonna be, you know, the 64 games, the Super Nintendo games, the Genesis games that are gonna be the draw by the time we get to the end of this year. Could they add other systems? Yeah, they could definitely add, you know, GameCube, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, whatever. They could add anything they wanted to, but I don't think that's gonna be the draw. I said this in my last 2 videos about the online expansion pack. I'm gonna say it again because, again, I think it's actually coming true. These giant DLC packs that they're giving away or they're including in this service, that is going to be the draw. The first one they put in, Animal Crossing. Not everybody has it. I get that. Not everybody's an Animal Crossing fan. That game sold very well. Lots of people have it. But just about everybody has Mario Kart. This is the one where it's like, okay, you can clearly see where they're going with this, what they're doing. But it kind of makes me wonder, with all the games we know about right now, and there's a ton, there's a huge list that has just been put out online of all the games that are coming out. I may throw it up here for you to see. If not, I'll have it linked down in the description. But there are a ton of games that we could see come out. They could include giant pieces of DLC in this thing later on down the road, maybe even at the end of the year. One of those games is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I can definitely see them putting some DLC out for that. That's a big game. It's a brand new 3D Kirby. It's something that they haven't done really, something that they're gonna be pushing really hard. I'm excited for that one. It comes out next month. That could totally have DLC by the end of the year. And another big one, and this was always a question, and I know there's been a lot of people talk about it and just wonder why the game never got real DLC, but Mario Odyssey, that is a perfect game to get a massive DLC to put into the online expansion pack. And I mentioned this in the last video, but I think this is probably the one that I figure this will definitely be something we see, whether it's this year or next year, at some point after this game comes out. Breath of the Wild 2, the first one got 2 big DLC packs. I believe that we will probably see another giant DLC pack with Breath of the Wild 2 put right in to the online stuff. I mean, why not? If this is the way they're gonna go, if they're gonna really add value to this, that's the way to do it. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna keep getting Nintendo 64 games. Actually, today, when you guys are watching this, Majora's Mask has just been released. That's probably what I'm playing right now. As you're watching this video, that's probably what I'm doing. I'm probably playing that game. There'll be plenty more games to come. Plenty more 64 games. Plenty more Sega Genesis games. Maybe another system. But again, I think this DLC stuff is where they're gonna go. This is their version of Game Pass. But guys, this is a short one. That's all I got for you today. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Have you agreed with me this whole time? Did you think, like I did, that this is how Nintendo was going to move this forward? Or were you one of the people thinking that this was gonna be it and it just wasn't worth it? Or maybe you're one of those people who thought that and now you're kind of seeing where they're going with this and you have a different opinion on it. Whatever your opinion on it is, guys, let me know down in the comments below. But as always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, make sure you are subscribed. We'll see you in the next one.